great announcement as we're on the Jim Thorpe Stadium football field. I have Jason Milo with me and also our athletic director, Dax. And Dax Leone, what kind of announcement do you have for us as a community today?
Well, it's a big one. We are going to put some Geo AstroTurf down on the football field for not just obviously our football team, for our whole community, for all of our athletes, for all of our activities. It's just going to be a big win for Shawnee. So we are super excited. We've been working along Jason and Billy for the last few months trying to get this project done, and had a lot of community members step up, and we'll talk about that as we go. But last night at the board meeting it was approved, and now we're ready to get going.
We are turfing Jim Thorpe Stadium. Jason, man, you've been in athletics a long time coach over at OBU, and now this is a new endeavor for you, but you certainly understand the intricacies and the whys of why do we want to turf this field. Can you fill us in on some of that?
Yeah, it's a great win for the community because it's useful in every way, any condition, and then there's health benefits along the way as well. Shawnee will be the first facility to have the non-fill, no rubber turf in Oklahoma.
Wow, so that sounds to me, Jason, like it's supposed to feel like grass and act like grass. Why is this so new? Why is this not something that's been around a long time?
Something that's kind of came from Europe and is coming this way. There's a school in Arkansas with it, and then Shawnee will be the next full school. We do have a product that cools the surface temperature 40 degrees. That's another big issue with turf. So to cool the field 40 degrees is a great thing.
So let's talk about advantages for our kids, because those are the ones who will be participating most of the time on a field like this. What are some of the advantages to a turf field from a health standpoint for our kids?
Well, your G-force rating, which is your concussion rating, stays consistent. All right, it never changes. We don't have the rubber being dispersed, and now we have a bare spot because there's no rubber in it. The rating stays constant, so that's a benefit for our athletes.
So we get to protect our heads. And for athletes like us growing up without that protection, we know what that could mean. Dax, tell a little bit about the excitement of the administration and what this took, because we have been talking about turfing Jim Thorpe Stadium for well over a decade, and we finally get it done.
Yeah, well, I'll have to give a lot of credit to our administration, obviously Dr. Espold and his team. And when we were approached, by Jason, or we approached Jason and those guys and Billy for the newness of the turf and what we were trying to do, we wanted to be different. We wanted to separate ourselves, and something that was really important to Dr. Espold and I is doing something that would set Shawnee apart. And for us, just the safety of the turf and being kind of the first one to have it kind of sets us apart. And so there was a lot of companies that came at us, and we really did a lot of due diligence, a lot of research. And again, I'll give a lot of credit to Dr. Espold and his team and our board. But at the end of the day, it's about people too, and we really feel really comfortable with Billy Dawson, the owner, and Jason Milo, and the kind of work that they've done. Obviously, we did our homework, and for us to be the first team in Oklahoma, I think it says something about them as a company. It says something about us as a school district.
Well, in talking about that is certainly true. Jason, you're one of our own. You're from around here. Tell us a little bit about your background in coaching and your expertise in this kind of stuff.
30 plus years of coaching, from southern Oklahoma to Oklahoma City, to last 12 years at Oklahoma Baptist. It's been a great run. It was probably time for me to ride off and do something a little different. But getting to see these facilities all over the country, coaching at Oklahoma Baptist, recruiting all over Oklahoma and Texas, Shawnee is going to have the best right here.
Well, Dax, did you tell him to say that? Because I know that's the direction you want to be. Talk about being the best.
Well, I think he hit it right on the head, and I'm in the same boat where I've coached college baseball for 20 plus years, and everywhere I've been, we've always built a program and a brand that was not just statewide but nationwide, and trying to win national championships. And we're the same way here at Shawnee. Our kids deserve the best, to have every opportunity to try to win state championships, not just on the field but in the classroom and everything else. And it all starts with expectation. It starts with people, and like I've talked about 1,000 times, our brand is really important. I think this project shows what our brand is capable of and the direction that we're going.
Well, and we've said right here, great things come from destruction. This is another example of great things coming from destruction of last April 19th. Let's talk a little bit about that, Dax, if you would. Give us an update. It's green. Here we are. So what has transpired here at Jim Thorpe Stadium, Dax? Because people are interested to know. It was great for OBU to help us out in our displacement, but we want to get back to our home stadium. What are the great things other than the turf that you're working on here?
Well, right now, I mean, because we displaced football, we were trying to get all the spring sports ready, and the winter sports, the pack, the floor is almost complete, so we'll be back in there hopefully next week. Still working on baseball, still working on track, and working on tennis to try to get those facilities up and running. Now the turf project, now that we've approved it, will be something that we start around probably on Thanksgiving or something like that. So our goal is to be in here for soccer season, and definitely be in here for graduation, because Jim Thorpe Stadium and graduation goes hand in hand. So that's kind of where we're at. Our focus right now is just to try to make it as normal as we can for our kids. And but once this project starts, man, it's gonna hit the ground running.
Tell me about the press box. It got blown over. For many years, we were going up those back stairs in the press box, hoping it didn't get blown over. It got blown over. What are we doing up there?
Yeah, I mean, we're still kind of a little bit in the assessment phase with the insurance and stuff, but we're obviously going to build a brand new one. It's going to be beautiful. There's still some things we got to, maneuver through to try to make sure that we get it the way we want it. We don't want to just build back. We're trying to host, state championships and everything else here, and really be a partner with the OSSA and the community. So the press box will be done. It may not be done quite by graduation, but it'll be done by next football season.
And then what about that great addition that we had? We had a lot of joy, a lot of people coming down and enjoying those meal tents at OBU, and there was a lot of talk after the season of trying to continue that on. Where are we at with that?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and Jason might be able to speak on it too, because he was a part of it. But I thought the atmosphere and what OBU did for us with Coach Dav and Coach Fluke and all the people there were just so great. But what a great atmosphere. We had all of our VIP people in there. We had our teams in there. Any reunions we had in there, I mean, we were feeding them, and it just had a great atmosphere, and that's something that we're looking to bring to Jim Thorpe Stadium next fall.
And by VIP, it does not mean intimidation to you. That just means people who helped out the program. They bought a banner, they did different things that may help their businesses or may help their families. How does that impact the play on the field, Jason, when you're able to give those kind of things away to people? Does it create more excitement in a crowd? What does it do for the people?
Sure, and it also allows our players to have contact with those people, because they're right there at the facility where, they can just walk over and shake a hand. Us as coaches, it's wonderful because we get to walk right through there, shake hands, and hopefully they give more money.
Well, it takes money to get things done, and the announcement today, a lot of money being spent to turf Jim Thorpe Stadium, and it comes from an administration who's being proactive about getting the best for our kids, working with great people, and leadership in the sports department. Dax Leone, thank you, man. Anything else you'd like to share with us before we take off?
Yeah, you talked about the community, and I just want to, this project cannot have happened without, a lot of people, but, Avitas was a big donor in this thing, stepping up for our community. All 5 banks in town were a part of this thing. We had a couple of private donors help. The CPN was a big help in this thing. So it really took a full team to get to the number that we had to get to get this project. And I started this project when I got the job back in July, last July. So it's been kind of an ongoing fundraising. Then the tornado kind of put us at a stop for a little bit. But the great people at Avitas kind of finished us off, and all the other people that were involved, the banks, it really shows what the community's about. It shows that our kids deserve the best, and we're looking forward to being able to play and have all kinds of events here at Jim Thorpe Stadium.
Well, and talking about that, when we talk about the tribe, Linda Capps comes up, and you and I had a moment just before coming on. We were thinking of a community team was great, and it was old Roy Capps, Linda's husband. Yeah. What a small place we live in, but great things can happen.
Oh, yeah. I followed Tecumseh basketball when Roy was there, and then my 8th grade year was his last year as a head coach there, and then Coach Walk took over, and it was a great run at Tecumseh during Roy's time.
It really was, and that's really sharing love with you, Linda, because we appreciate all that you have done in our community in the position in which you hold at the top, really, of one of our tribal partners, nation partners right here in Shawnee. For Dax Leone, Jason Milo, I'm Daniel Shaughnessy. We get turf at Jim Thorpe Stadium. Way to go, guys.
Go Wolves.
Shake your hand again.
Yes, sir.